Today I took 3 trades, 2 losers and 1 break even. Plan eventually worked out, I guess, but I just either took too many losses too early or just couldn't had to get the timing right. So yesterday there was a big rally, but the value area was still lower, and for the CPR it was overlapping lower, but for cams it was overlapping higher. So don't really know what direction it could go. It was pretty muted overnight, but we were opening above value area high here of RTH. And I had a few other levels here that I liked. So the one I liked the most was the value area high long, which was also L3. I also kept in mind the 4-hour supply here, value area high ETH here, which was also pre-market high, so my short there. I was also thinking about a long at this high volume net ledge over here, although the pre-market lows were up down here, so that was also a level I was kind of looking at. I guess since it's also POC. I've seen a lot of POC bounces these days, so maybe that's something I need to note for the future. And then I had this fair value gap here, so anything inside here, especially at the 50% line, or at the top, which also aligned with the high volume node ledge. So I want to long here, or short there. That was basically my plan. Market sells off at the open into this high volume node ledge area and fair value gap. I do like that this formed a 3-minute high volume hammer, and also a 5-minute high volume hammer. So I did like that. And there was, I guess, well, I was looking at this from the start, and it seemed like all the pops were getting sold into, but it was coming into my level, so I decided to go for it. But here I saw a big pop. I wanted some sort of retest, and so that big pop that formed a 3-minute high volume hammer, which I really liked. And I also saw the selling imbalance at the lows here, which I liked also. So I'm waiting for a retest now, and kind of get this little bounce here. And I am thinking about entering here, but I really want my stop to be down here, so I want something around the 80s over here for an entry. But I do see some sort of bulge here, which is kind of a B shape, but it did pop, so I couldn't get an entry at 87, and I ended up getting an entry, I think kind of a FOMO entry around 91 here. So should have been around 87 if I were to go in with the stop at 82, but kind of got FOMO when it started rallying here and entered at 91.5. That's a 10-point stop. Almost immediately it sold off, got rejected at that level 92 there, forming a delta divergence bearish and stopped me out. But still hasn't broken the lows yet. I'm still looking at the same thing here. More selling bounces here and it starts popping, so I decide to go for another trade here. Same thesis here. Kind of a B shape, another one here, so set my stop at the 80s, and my target was yesterday's high or this high volume node ledge. So the second one was high volume node ledge over there. So that was kind of what I was aiming for. It got stuffed at the same area here at the 92s, formed another delta divergence, bearish, and then sells off. So I really want to just get out of it right here, but it seemed like it was making an attempt to go higher, but gets quickly rejected and then comes down, so it stops me out. So first one was kind of a FOMO entry. The second one was a little better, but I don't know. I mean, I guess it was my level. I don't know how good this level was though. It was kind of a ledge, but Yeah, I guess, I don't know, maybe this level was better. So then I let it sell off. I do notice that there is a CPR level right here. The top central pivot is right here. It comes down, still inside fair value gap here. Forms another high volume hammer here on the 3-minute, high volume hammer on the 5-minute, and I really like that. So I decided to go for one more try here. The other thing that I noticed was that as it was breaking these lows right here, the RSI wasn't breaking lows. So it was a RSI normal divergence there, which I also liked. In addition to this high volume hammer there and high volume hammer there. And I honestly thought it was a good setup because there's a B shape here now at the 67s, right at top central. So a B shape right there with a POC at the lows. I like that. Also, there's a huge delta that as it retests, it breaks the lows here. So it breaks the lows, comes back, forms a CVD hidden divergence here, which I really like because it hasn't broken the lows on price yet, and it's kind of a retest to this B shape. So I enter with one contract here with the stop at the lows. And I thought this was a decent setup, honestly. I had really good confirmations here, better confirmations than the first two trades. And there was good pop too. But yeah, I thought it was a decent setup, decent confirmations. I wanted to go for at least VWAP, if not half day. VWAP was around 3R, so wanted to go for VWAP there. But it almost got to 3R. It got to 2.9R, and then it just, I don't know, just sold off from there. Not sure completely why or anything like that, but it just sold off, and I had my stop at break even at that point because I didn't want to. It already hit 2R, and I didn't want to hold it for a loss. But it broke the lows. Still RSI divergence here because it's still higher than this point here. But I really didn't see much here. I honestly didn't. I guess there's a 1-minute delta divergence that's kind of forming, but not anymore. Maybe there was a hidden divergence here. And it never finished forming that hidden divergence. Yeah, I mean, not much here that I can see. So it did come down and formed some selling imbalances at the low, but again, not much that really convinced me. There is a delta divergence here, but maybe if I didn't take the first two trades, I would have tried it here. And maybe the first two trades were a little early and a little bit too trigger happy, and I would have taken a chance on this if I didn't take those. And then it runs. So yeah, runs all the way to high of day, have on no ledge, yesterday's high. And now ETH value area high. Yeah, it was just a few points off of there. So I don't know, does this count as my plan working out? I don't know. I think so, but it's just unfortunate that I'm not gonna take advantage of this. I think if I didn't try the first two, I could have tried a second attempt here. Or even if I didn't enter the second one, I would have tried my third trade there. Just unfortunate.